Let's see, is anyone online? Just testing out the new live stream setup. Let me know if you can hear me, see me. Check in, see if I'm getting some messages here. Aha! Someone's online. Who's this? Jordan. Oh, thanks, Jordan. Roland? Silky smooth sounds on the summit. Oh, yeah. Does that well. Oh, great, Jordan. Thanks, man. Pretty cool. Well, that was fun. Who's online? Joel. Feel like I'm floating through the cosmos. Sounds rad. Thanks, mate. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Escaping COVID lockdown by floating through the auditory cosmos. Darren, g'day. How you going? James. Oh, here we go. James has the most hilarious username. James has serious doubts about his last gram of bath salts. I don't blame you. There you going. Mastered that thing already when I play polysynth. I wouldn't say I've mastered it, mate. It's just lots of fun playing around with it. Greetings from Moscow, where it's daytime lockdown party. Hey, oh, cheers to that. Na zdrowie. Hey, Mike. So, hey, you go. Love your videos. Oh, thank you. Up Odyssey Solo was wild. Oh, thank you. Legend. Collie, hi, folks. G'day, Collie Rough One. How you going? What's everyone up to tonight or today? Where is everyone? And what time is it where you are? How am I going to pronounce his name? Is it Zales Chuck Music? Says, any tips for playing funky solos, stuff with pitch bending and whatnot? West coast of Canada. Ah, very good. What time is it over there at the moment? Tips for playing 4:37 in the morning. Wow, you're dedicated. What are you doing awake? It's any tips for playing funky solos? Wow. Yeah, where to start? Pitch bending. Yeah, I'm just about to do a YouTube video on pitch bending, but I can definitely give you a few little tips in the meantime. So yeah, with pitch bending in solos, I'd say you want it to I mean, you want it to. When I'm thinking about pitch bending, I'm trying to make it as natural as possible. So, I mean, you can use it as an effect, but I tend to use it just to. So, if I'm soloing, I'm thinking of if I was a guitarist or a sax player or a vocalist, where would I bend notes there? So, if I'm making lyrical phrases in my head or phrases that I might sing, that I'd bend those notes. So, for instance, let me just get a lead sound up here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Where are we here? I'll go to one of my custom leads that I've just put together here. So here we go. There we go. That'll do. So I guess starting off, pitch bend range is pretty important. So the most common pitch that people tend to bend is one tone up and one tone down. So two semitones up, two semitones down. But don't restrict yourself to that. It's cool to change it up. I mean, like, you know, something I've been experimenting with lately is making actually three semitones rather than two. So I mean, with two semitones, you know that if you bend it all the way, you're going to get exactly perfectly one tone up. So two semitones up. And you can't go any further. So it stops you overshooting that pitch. So, but something I've been doing lately is intentionally doing three semitones. So what that does is it makes you use your ear a bit more, because you can overshoot it and you can get, you know, you can go too far. But it's kind of cool, because if you listen to a lot of the original guys like George Duke and that were playing solos on mini Moogs and stuff like that, those wheels, you know, it wasn't all perfectly sprung to the middle, calibrated, whatever. You could easily go way beyond what was musical. So they had to use their ears, and occasionally they did overshoot the marks. So that, if you want to sound more like those guys, like the old Chick Corea Return to Forever recordings and the old George Duke recordings, set your pitch bend wheel to just a bit more. Make it three semitones, and that way, I'm actually, just because I've just got the Summit, I'm not entirely sure how to do that straight away. Oh, here we go, bend range. There you go, makes it easy, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Okay, that's only for oscillator 3. Let's just turn that down for a minute. Okay, so if we were on two semitones, that's two semitones up. So let's make it three now, up and down. So if I wanted to do this phrase, you can hear I'm bending exactly up to that note. It's exactly one tone. But let's make it three semitones now. If I do the same thing, it's subtle, but if I'm not paying attention, I can go, which sounds horrible. But if you just intentionally don't push it all the way, you won't get exactly two semitones. You'll get somewhere close, but it'll be a bit more musical. So it might be a bit sharp, might be a bit flat other times, and that's a little trick that I found that really helps making it a lot more musical and a lot closer to what those guys are doing. Otherwise, it's always perfectly, you know, if you got always two semitones, it's very vanilla. So that's one little tip. But I mean, I've got a whole video on pitch bending in the works at the moment. So in the meantime, that's something there. All right. Oh, g'day, Clancy. How you going, mate? Just tuning 7:30 a.m. Wow, you're keen. Very early. Hope all is well. So I got carried away with my MS-20. Oh yeah, that's like the monophonic version of sound design land for sure. 137 in the Arvo. Usually rock two semitones. Yeah, it's a pretty cool lead sound. I've just started putting together some more traditional, because the Summit's very, you know, it's very good for the polysynth stuff. So, you know, you can get some amazing, it's really got its own sound, but you can get some cool like Yamaha CS80 sounds or sort of Prophet 5 vibes or Oberheim vibes. It really excels at the the polyphonic stuff. But I've started to put together some just some more traditional sort of Moog, things that if I'm on a gig or whatever, when we eventually get out of lockdown and do gigs again, if I don't end up taking a mono synth, that I could, stuff like put this little bass synth Moog thing together. Also works great as a lead if you take it up, adjust the envelope a bit. It's pretty cool. How does a pitch bend work on the ARP with the buttons? Can you set the range of the button? No. You can't set the range of the button. So how that works is their PPC, it's called PPC, which is, I think it's proportional pitch control, which is basically they're pressure sensitive pads. So you've got the 3 pads on the ARP. If you can see it up there, basically got those 3 white pads. The one on the left is bend down. The one on the right's bend up. The one in the middle triggers. It's essentially like a modulation wheel, so it triggers how much modulation you have. So the harder you press, the further the pitch bends. So I've actually got a video on YouTube demonstrating it. If you look up PPC on my PPC on my YouTube channel, I'll demonstrate how it works. But basically, the harder you press into the pad, the further the pitch bends. It's quite tricky to use because there's no real, limit, I guess you'd say. You can bend well up to over an octave the harder you press, but it's really hard. They're actually really hard to use because you have to press them quite hard to bend any kind of distance. So they're a bit weird to use, and of course, as soon as you release the pressure, it springs back to the original pitch. So very, very different experience to using traditional pitch bend and mod wheels, or like the pitch stick on Nords or Korgs or anything like that. But that's basically taken from that was the further, I think that originally was seen on the Mark III ARP Odyssey. Originally, the first ones had the what do you call it? There was like a knob essentially. It wasn't sprung or anything. It was just literally a dial that you left in the middle, and it was like a tuning dial basically. But guys, like if you listen to the really early Herbie Hancock recordings on like Headhunters and stuff like that, to do pitch bends, you literally had to like turn the pitch dial. So while you were playing, and there's one line that Herbie's doing, and I think it's in the middle of the ARP Odyssey solo on Chameleon. He stuffs up and he forgets to put the pitch bend back in the middle. So he's playing and the whole thing's about a semitone sharp, and then he realizes, and then you can hear, he moves it back to the middle. So that was the early days of pitch bending and modulation. So we've come a long way since then. Well, we sort of come a long way. Also haven't come very far at all because we've still got most keyboards still use the same 2-wheel design as the Mini Moog, which started the whole thing. So do you have any gear that has non-spring assisted pitch wheel like an MS-20? No, I don't think so. Do I have any? Let me have a look. I don't think so. I mean, I've got the Korg micro preset you can see up the back, which is essentially like I was saying with the ARP. It's just got a pitch knob that's sort of slight indent in the middle, and you can turn it left or right. But no, as far as other synths, no, pretty much they're all fairly traditional. Cool. Let's see. Can you make an Oberheim brass sound on the Summit? Do you mean? How long have you been playing the keys? You've got some wild chops. Oh, mate, since I was 4, so 34 years. Little while. Oh, great. Glad you joined the stream. What was I going to say? Yeah, there's heaps of great Oberheim type brass sounds in this already. I've already sort of programmed some cool stuff in, be it Oberheim or Jupiter, or it's just generalized. I mean, the cool thing about the Summit is it's not really trying to be any kind of particular synth. I mean, it's a wavetable what's called FPGA oscillators, digital oscillators, but it's got an analog filter. So you combine the two, and it sounds analog, but you know, it's like it's pretty huge. It's got these really cool parameters built in called, I think it's divergence and drift. If we have a look at that in the oscillators. Yeah, so drift is, you know, you see that in a lot of digital or analog, modern analog synths, which basically just slightly modulates the pitch of the oscillators, which makes them a bit out of tune. So I'll show you. So this is currently with no drift on. I'll turn the effects off so you can just, and even the chorus and everything, so you can just hear the raw sound. So this is just the raw sound of the synth. So if we turn the drift up, I'll turn it all the way up so you can hear what it sounds like. See, it's pretty out of tune in a sort of slightly musical way. You can hear everything sort of modulating. So you wouldn't want it that much, but that's the drift, which is cool. But there's also the diverge. I've got to look this up actually in the manual and see what the difference is. But I think the diverge, it's sort of different in that, from what I can tell, every time you press the key, it sort of triggers at a slightly different pitch, or it just makes it more random. So without diverge, so everything at 0, I'll show you. So it's, if we turn the diverge all the way up, it's sort of wonky all over the place. So I find if you put them both sort of about 50, say, you get a nice, real analog feel without it being obvious. So you get a nice sort of... That's still a bit too much, so maybe like... And this is without any modulation on the pitch of the oscillator too, so I haven't brought that in with, like, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, this is just straight. That to me feels... It feels analog. It feels like I'm playing something like a Prophet, or, you know, be it a Rev 2 or anything like that. It just feels random enough that it's not perfectly digital. Yeah. You can bring in this, got aftertouch opening the filter, and it's got a bit of modulation on the mod wheel, vibrato. So that's still a bit too out of tune for me. Like, I mean, you can go a bit crazy with all of this to try to make it super analog, but you know, it doesn't. It just sounds so good, and the filter is analog. The overdrive's analog, and the distortion and that. So that's all legit. Like, you know, that's the 24 dB filter. If we switch it up, I mean, Oberheim, put it on the 12 dB. It's probably closer to an Oberheim sort of sound. Get rid of the resonance. Pretty cool. So I've been playing for 3 years, but no formal training. Wish I started sooner. Oh, look, it's never too late. You've started now. It's that's the main thing. Can you set the phase point of the oscillator waveforms on the Summit? I have not looked into it. Maybe I couldn't tell you, mate. Possibly. Saw Ricky Tyler's video going through it on the peak and seemed like a cool way. Yeah, well, if this is essentially, I mean, basically it's two peaks together, twin peaks. So yeah, if you can do it on the peak, I'd say you'd definitely be able to do it on the Summit. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, if you can on the Peak, I'd say yeah, for sure. That's Jen. Hi, Mike. Really like the sounds you dialed up on the summit, uploading some of your patches. Oh, thanks. I was just improvising some sounds, so I haven't saved any of them. They're I'd have to make some up again from scratch. So there's a real analog filter, switchable, and yeah, it's real analog filter. And yes, switchable 12 or 24 dB filter, 100%. So the oscillators are wavetable oscillators, so they're very high resolution. It's what you probably know more about this than I do, Clancy, but like FPGA chips. So basically, it's like super high resolution digital audio chips for the oscillators and the digital side of things. And then I think it's same as the Udo, the Super 6. That's got FPGA oscillators, and I think that's got analog filters as well. It seems to be like the new hybrid way of doing synthesizers is FPGA digital oscillators and then run them through analog filters, and then you kind of get a best of both worlds, because you can get some super great almost digital sounds out of this, like purely like almost like, and it does have FM in it, so you can get almost like DX7 sounds. But the cool thing is what I love and what I've been wishing synth makers would do for ages is make a proper FM synth, but with analog filters. Like, because the analog filters, they even out all of that. You know, you still get the digital sparkle, but it just takes out any of the harshness, any of the sort of weird two digital harmonics, and you get a real nice sort of a real nice fatness from the analog the analog filter. Sorry. So I'm a big fan of anything digital with analog filters. Like the Roland JDXA was very cool as well. That was a pretty niche sort of synth that sort of didn't take off in some ways. Some people really got a lot out of it. Other people didn't know too much about it, but it's such a cool synth. Like, you know, and yeah, I think they've sort of, the price on them's gone up quite a fair bit lately, because I think people are starting to realize that they're actually pretty cool. So yeah, anywhere you can get digital good sound, because there's crap sounding digital as well, but when you can get good sounding digital and run it through really good analog filters, and this has got great filters and it's got great effects as well. Like, I've got to say, it's simple, doesn't have 256 blinking auto wahs and weird things that you're never going to use. It's just got a really nice chorus, really nice delay, and some really nice reverbs, probably some of the highest quality reverbs. I've got to say, the Korg Wave State too, it's got some really awesome reverbs. But the inbuilt reverbs in synths now, I mean, they used to be, back in the day, they were pretty average quality, you know, but you hook them up to your studio gear and stuff to make them better. But now, like, I'm using, if I record with the Summit, I'd say, yeah, 99 out of 100 times I'll use the inbuilt effects, because they sound great and they just match the synths so well. I mean, you can just hear, this is my favorites, I think, Reverb 2. I don't know what this sound's set to, but without reverb. This reverb, turn it up. I don't know if you're listening in stereo. This should be going out in pretty high quality stereo, but this now is just makes it wide and beautiful. And the chorus is awesome too. So you've got a 2-tap, 4-tap, and ensemble style chorus. So if you put it on ensemble, turn the rate up and dial it in, like. Pretty cool. And I don't need a million effects, as long as there's a few good ones, good reverb, good delay, and it does the job. A happy camper. Right. Stefan, hello from Germany. Glad I made it to a live stream. Welcome. Welcome from Melbourne, Australia. Doesn't the Ensoniq ESQ1? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, I've got a couple of mates with the ESQ1, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's wavetable with analog filters, and it sounds very cool. That's a very good sounding synth. They're still available actually for quite a reasonable price. They haven't got stupid like a lot of the vintage gear. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes. Oh well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Nice to hang with you all in lockdown. I don't know how many of you are still in lockdown, but in Melbourne here, we're still quite a way away from being able to resume life as per normal. So, cheers. Might program some other sounds up. What kind of wine is it? It's a very nice wine. It's from the beautiful Italian restaurant down the road. It's a mix of Sangiovese, Shiraz, Barbera, and Merlot, and it's quite delicious. It's very nice. Just trying to find something a bit digital here to just show you, like, hey, there's something, just one of these presets. But I mean, considering this has got sounds that you couldn't necessarily get out of traditional analog synth, so. So things like that, it just sound really cool having the analog filter with that digital. It's got some cool splits too. If I go into the multi section, so you can combine, having 16 oscillators, you can really layer and split a lot of cool stuff. So this uses a lot of FM, I think, this sound. Sounds. So, this is a nice split. So, yeah. It's a cool little bass. So the cool thing too, so you've got two panels, right? So you've got, I don't know if you can see it, probably not showing up on here. I'm going to angle this a bit. Hey, there we go. You can see that. So a lot of people are going, oh, the colours are gimmicky. You don't need the colours, but they're not gimmicky. There's a purpose to them. So you'll notice panel A is blue, right? You see everything lights up blue. Panel B is orange. Ta-da! So when you're doing splits, it's so handy knowing which panel you're on and what's controlling what. So, and especially with the voices, they light up here. They've got 16 voice lights and they light up orange or blue. So depending on what you're playing. So you can see which voices are playing what sound. It's super intuitive. It's just so straightforward. So the cool thing is, as far as what the panel is controlling, it's basically two peaks, right? So imagine blue peak there, and that's the bass sound in this case. So this is set up as a split, and then an orange peak there, that's the lead. So if I turn something like the frequency knob while it's in the orange one, it'll only affect the orange side of it. So, right, so the bass isn't affected. Similarly, if I do that, affects the bass, doesn't affect that. But if you want to control them both, just press both at the same time, everything goes white, like that. And so now, you can, anything on the panel controls both peaks essentially at the same time. So you can control both at the same time. It's the same with the pitch and the mod wheels, so you can either make it only control one or both. So same with the reverbs. Yeah, Clancy. Yeah, you can control different. I think everything is independent. As far as I haven't delved into it too deeply, but yeah, from what I can tell, I think they're independent. Let's have a look. We can tell you right now. So let's get that lead and chuck the reverb all the way up on reverb 2 and a heap of delay. Then we'll go to the bass sound. And let's have a tiny bit of reverb 1. And no delay. Yeah, they're completely independent. Switch to both. Chicoria thing going if I just get rid of some of that. And make it a bit squarer. I know, that's nice, just change the shape. So you can change the shape of the oscillator. Lots of fun. Hours of fun. You get some rest. Thanks for. Oh, no worries. Sleep well. Thanks for tuning in. It's quite late where you are, so nice to see you. Thank you. So yeah, that's a cool little split. What else we got here? So here's another FM bell layer. So this is just using two. What have we got? 2 layers. Layer B. They sound the same. Where's the fun in that? Let's do something different. Let's do something different with the second layer. Yeah, well, let's layer octave 2 maybe. Let's put it layer 2 up an octave. Okay, it's using FM, so you've got to be careful with the oscillators, otherwise things could get quite gnarly quite quickly. So yes, to answer that previous question, it is true FM. It's not samples. As you can tell, like, you varied the pitch. Proper FM. So let's get this layer. Let's make it a bit, maybe a little bit sparklier, and put some chorus on it. And that should be up an octave from What's happened? It's not worked. So it's so cool having FM and then through a real analog filter. Ensemble on it, a bit more reverb too. Cool. Can't do that with an analog synth. Pure analog. Oh, okay, I've gone into... That's what's happened. It's pretty cool. It's like a Mellotron choir sound, which is pretty cool considering there's no actual samples, do I think? Not bad. Bit too much effects on some of this stuff. On both of these channels, link them together. It's just so quick to come up with really awesome sounds. Too much delay. Is the Summit new? Yeah, it's the latest addition to the studio, for sure. Yeah, probably why it's getting so much screen time lately. Sometimes digital oscillators on the field seem so versatile and it sounds awesome. Oh, That's true, Clancy. What's your take on pure analog polysynths profit these days? Are they dinosaurs? Oh, I'd say they're classics. Dinosaurs. No. I mean, they're classic. You can't go past that stuff. Like the original Prophet, the new one, the Prophet 5 Rev 4 that's just come out. That looks incredible. It sounds amazing. I mean, nothing sounds like a Prophet, but a Prophet. This sounds legit. To me, it sounds exactly the same as the previous Prophets. Not the Rev 2 and the Prophet 6. They've got their own sort of flavors, but this sounds very close to the original Prophet. But yeah, no, I don't think they're dinosaurs. I think they're great. I mean, they're if you want the most perfect recreation of those vintage sounds that were played on analog synths, I guess you have to use that gear. They're not going to be as versatile as some of the modern stuff as far as creating other sounds like FM and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you want something to nail a Prophet sound from the 80s or whatever, that'll get probably closer than a Summit, for instance, at nailing that exact sound, because that's what it is. Just like a Mini Moog reissue will sound much more like a Mini Moog than any of this gear. But I think there's a place for all of it. I mean, as far as how everyone's got different needs, I guess. I mean, as far as gigging it, I don't think, something like the Prophet 6 would probably be much better for gigs or taking out on the road, because it's more compact, it's lighter, it's got built-in effects, all that kind of stuff. Whereas the Prophet 5's it's a monster, it's huge. But it sounds incredible. It's very, very cool. You gonna get one? I think you should. I think you should buy one. DX7 FM sound. Yeah, that did have a DX7 sound to it. It's pretty cool. So what's that? A 6 oscillator bass. So it's 2 layers put together. Definitely tempted. Oh, I think it'd be a very nice compliment to your studio, Clancy. I think you'd put it to very good use. You're a great player, man. You'd make it sound excellent. That's pretty cool. It's like a Wurlitzer, just made from waveforms rather than actual samples. Let's get a bit less funk bass sound going here. Make it a bit less chorus. Too much detune. Cool, it's a fun little split. There you go. So that's another thing you're not necessarily going to get from analog. Liking this hybrid vibe. Just excels at pads. Such a killer pad machine. So good. So much fun. Cool. Well, I might call it a night soon here. G'day, Victor. Oh, that's cool. I like that. It's pretty nice. G'day, Andrew. Have you bought any gear today? Andrew press record. We've got an ongoing joke about excessive purchasing of gear. So, what have you bought today, Andrew? You must have bought something. So Andrew and I had got a little duo project together called Penjo. So we're going to got to get some more stuff out there. We've got a couple of tracks done, but we have to finish some more, put them out there. Be lots of fun. Looking at a tripod dolly, nothing musical. Cool, man. Turrell Brass. No surprises for that. Have a good one, mate. Nice to see you. Lush pad, love this. Yeah, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? So inspirational to play. Just play that all night. So good. It's got a real like CS80 vibe to it. Definitely has a Yamaha CS vibe. That something about it that feels more of that vibe than a lot of other synths that I played. Just a combination, just blends so perfectly matched to the reverb and the delay and the chorus. It's such a balanced instrument. That's what I like. Is that it's not like, you know, some synths you put something on, like put the chorus on, put the reverb, and it detracts from the sound, or it sounds really mismatched. It completely changes the timbre of the instrument or something. Whereas this is just, everything just works. It all feels like everything's been thought out. It mightn't be a million features and things going on, but the features that are there they just work. It's just matched. And the first time I played these pads, I was just like, wow. It's just so hi-fi. So cool. Hi-fi and lo-fi sort of at the same time. Let's try to edit this, make it a bit more sort of responsive to less pad-like. See you, Ben. Thanks for tuning in. Something like the overdrive, this analog sort of really overdrive the distortion, the analog distortion too. Yeah. Between like a polysynth to a massive pad just that quickly. Pretty cool. I like it. Oh, see you later. See you, Collie Ben. See you. Slickest keyboard player on YouTube. Oh, thanks, Dave. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you. I think I've just realised that I'm only getting comments from YouTube on here, I think. So the old Facebook mustn't be connecting. That's all right. It's a bit of a live stream test. So try the different camera angles. So it looks like it's all working, which is good. So I'll be doing this more often now. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Nice to virtually hang with you all, and stay safe wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you on the next live stream. Please tune in again. Go over to. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably already following me over on my YouTube page at YouTube/Mike Pensini. So if you're not, please throw a like and subscribe, and it'll be great. I'll see you soon. Arthur, cool demo, Mike. Thanks. Enjoy the whirly playing. Oh, thanks, Arthur. Appreciate it, mate. All right, guys. Well, enjoy your day or your evening. Oh, thanks, Clancy. I'll do more of it. Excellent. Nice to see you all. See you soon. Bye for now.